Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. To my far left is my co-host Adam, the Country Late Beatnik.
Yeah, I know.
To my immediate left is our first four-time guest, our first back-to-back guest, and from Love and Buns Rabbit Rescue. Let's welcome back Kristen, 2 weeks in a row. So real quick, got to take care of the business. Music you just heard was none other than Dirty Knife by the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia. So go check out the Unholy Four on Spotify and Bandcamp and Apple Music and, you know, wherever you can find the Unholy Four. And tomorrow, Friday, the 27th of October, I am hosting, well, the Outsville Record Garage, which I guess is me, is hosting our first ever pop-up Wine and Vinyl Night, otherwise known as Vinyl, at Wycombe Vineyards in Buckingham Township. Furlong is actually where it is, in Bucks County. So please come out to that from 5 to 9 p.m. We're going to be spinning records. We're going to be selling records. We're going to be talking records. There's going to be wine. There's going to be some food there. You know, food's for purchase. I'm not that like rich. I'm not giving you guys food. I will have some Halloween candy though. Nice. Might have some giveaways depending on how the night's going, and you know, it'll just be a good time. You know, the weather permitting, they're gonna have a nice fire going, and it'll be a good time. But we're gonna be spinning records. If there's something you want to hear, you can like say like, hey, do you have this? And if you find it in the limited inventory that I'm bringing with me, we'll just throw it on for you. So it'll be a good time. So cool. Hopefully, you know, I'll see you guys there. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty fucking stressed about this thing.
That's what, yeah, I can see it in your face, in your eyes. Looks like you've been crying a lot.
I have been.
You just mentioned Halloween candy. It just made me think real quick. What's your go-to, like when the kids would go trick or treating? What's the thing you would steal from their bags?
Reese's cups. Yeah.
Kristen, when the rabbits go trick or treating, what is the thing that you steal from their bags?
So my mom used to steal all the Snickers out of our bags.
Oh, Snickers are good. That's a good one to steal too. Yeah.
That's what my mom used to take from us.
I'm a very big fan of the variety Halloween variety pack candies, the Twizzlers. The
I fucking love the Twizzlers.
The 2-inch ones.
Uh-huh.
Those are fucking amazing.
Yes.
Whenever there's a thing of them, I just literally I make sure no one's watching and just steal all of them.
That's always good.
I think I would always take the Reese's too if I had the option.
Yeah, Reese's are good, and then it's probably like Reese's, Snickers, and like Twizzlers.
Yeah.
Although I always like in like the little those variety packs that you're talking about. You can get like the little like 2-pack of like Starburst, and they sometimes have weird flavors in there, you know. So I'm like, oh yeah, what do we got?
Every once in a while, you open them up and you're like, oh shit, 2 pinks, perfect.
Yeah. Or a pink and a red.
Yeah.
That was always not too bad either.
Yeah.
And you get 2 yellows and you just fucking hate life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come to think about this, when this is posted, by the time the next episode is posted, Halloween would have already passed. So happy Halloween!
Yeah.
Or
I have my skull sweater on.
Oh, look at Kristen was festive for the Halloween.
I was prepared.
I'm wearing black.
Yeah, you're gothic.
Yeah.
I'm dressed as a soccer player.
There you go.
There you go. This is our Halloween episode. There you go. Let's do the monster mash. Yeah. So actually, speaking of Halloween, we have our mascot right behind Chris. And Kristen, you went the wrong way. There you go.
Sorry.
There you go. You can see him right back there. Him or her, if we don't know.
I just realized when I came
Don't assume it's gender, Paul.
When I came into the garage today, I just realized how severe of a hole is in that thing's face.
Oh yeah,
that's really bad.
Yeah.
Like you could put like a keychain through there.
Do you think you could like get little marble things and pop them in?
Oh, maybe.
It's not a horrible idea.
Maybe we
like
could
doll eyes?
Like amateur taxidermy?
What about like those like googly eyes?
That'd be fun.
Yeah. He needs some of those.
But so we've had some suggestions already for names for our mascot.
Excellent.
We've had a few.
You did not fucking share that with me, you piece of shit.
I know. I haven't gotten there yet.
Ouch.
So
that's like text me off air kind of.
Well, let me ask you: do you follow us on social media?
I do.
Well, then fuck you, because you should have seen it then.
I don't follow social media. I follow us on social media, but listen, I work overnight and then like I'm with the boys during the day.
Work overnight,
and I sleep.
and you didn't tell me about the names of suggestions.
All right, just tell us the names.
No, I can't tell you.
Stop his whining.
I'm gonna go look on the fucking. You talk. I'm gonna go look on.
No. So I'm not going into names yet. I'm not going into, because I want people to put more options in. So this is like the last week to put in your suggestions for the names to name the skunk the official mascot of the Ottsville Record Garage and the Country Hipster Podcast. And then so sometime next week we will do like an Instagram poll or something like that to have you guys then decide. We're going to kind of narrow it down to like 4 or 5 names. I will tell you.
Is this his suggestions
for
the skunks?
Yes, that is what it is.
Yeah, fuck you, man. There's nothing on social. It's literally just the post of like, hey, episode coming out, episode's out, and then the vinyl thing.
I don't know. Hold on.
What are some choices?
Is it on Instagram?
I think so. Oh, I didn't start the timer.
Is it X? Is
No.
it on X? Do we have an
No,
X?
we're not. No.
X.
No.
X, the artist formerly known as Twitter.
Oh.
I forget where I know where they.
Threads.
Fuck is
I'm
Threads?
on.
That's the Instagram Twitter thing.
I'm personally on Threads, but I am not.
I'm not on Threads.
Not professionally on
Not
Threads.
professionally on Threads.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to look through them later, but there's some good ones out there. Okay, I know the ones that I kind of remember. There was like a Theolonia skunk. Shit. What was like I said? I'll find them, but right now my favorite is Michael Stripe.
Oh, that's good. I enjoy a good pun.
That's good.
So we'll see, but no, there's a couple good ones. So throw in your suggestions there, and then we'll put the poll, and then we will name our official mascot. But that is not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about that. I mean, we are here to talk about the mascot, but but more importantly,
I showed up for.
Yes, we are here to talk about episode 31, which is the Decemberist, Her Majesty, and since this was one of Adam's albums, go ahead. I almost called you Adams. From like Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah. But at any rate, go for it, sir.
Real quick before we go into it, we're a drinking podcast, Paul. With
Oh,
the
yes.
vinyl problem.
Yeah, we are.
And you and I are drinking the same beer.
Yeah.
And it's fitting with our theme of October.
And that's pretty Chrissy. I'm a little bit off. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's because I'm late. I fucked everything up.
It's not just that. I'm fucking exhausted. I've had an exhausting weekend.
It's been running through my mind all day.
Oh man, it did hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurt when I fell from the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So weird.
Check the tag on the back of Paul's shirt. Is that boyfriend material? Is that what he's wearing?
Oh, there it is. There it is. That's pretty good. That's good. I never heard that one. Oh man. So we are drinking from Round Guys Brewing in Lansdale, the pumpkin spiced amber lager, which is pretty nice. It's got a cool label.
Yeah.
You know, cool label.
Famous Monsters?
Yes.
I can't read writing sometimes.
Famous Monsters. Yep. But it's nice. It's light. It's more pumpkin-y than the Bitch and Kitten one that we had last week.
But not overly.
Not overly. Yeah, that's why I like kind of, it's nice. This is a nice, good drinker. It's only a 5.4%. So it is, it's nice. It's a nice drinking lager there. Okay.
Are you hoping the timer will have like gone by
No,
or something?
no,
You keep
no.
checking it.
Yes. Now, so
Paul's
yes.
like, I just want this to be over.
So the album that we are here to discuss is the second full-length album by the Decemberists, and it was released on September 9th, 2003, recorded in February and March of 2003, which I talked about before. I can't remember what album it was, but the album was released in like June, and the album was like recorded in like May.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was. Released on Kill Rock Stars and was produced by Larry Crane, who has also produced such things as, The Joggers, The Decemberists, Jenny Lewis, M. Ward, Elliott Smith, Death Cab for Cutie, who are kind of a friend of the podcast.
Acquaintances of the
Acquaintances
podcast.
And then the only other one I recognize is Sleater Kenny.
Yeah.
I don't know why I recognize that.
Because they're good.
But I know it. I don't think I've ever listened to them, but I know that name. Yeah, I was saying, Kristen says she's got way more facts because the big
Well,
fact...
not way more facts. I just have like Decemberist info.
Oh, okay. Gotta say,
fun.
this was one of those albums where there was like I could find like not a whole.
Oh yeah, no. I looked at that too and did notice there was not a whole lot.
Alt Press gave it a 5 out of 5. All Music gave it a 4 out of 5. Pitchfork gave it an 8.2 out of 10. The one thing that I did find very interesting was the album artwork was designed by Carson Ellis,
Who is his wife?
who is now his wife.
Ah, right.
And she also has a singing credit on the album.
Does she?
And the album, if I'm not mistaken, she's credited as Piercing Scream.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
she writes children's books.
Yeah.
Ah, Very nice.
And as of November 2005, the album sold 40,000 copies in the United States.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a little. I feel like Wikipedia is like really helpful for shit like this, but then it's always like it's 2023. I'm sure they've sold at least 1,000 more copies than.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
I mean, this isn't their best album, so maybe not.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
What are your fun facts?
Yeah, what are your
So
facts?
the Decemberists like to sing songs about historical events and folklore. The name of the band is referencing the Decemberist revolt in Russia, but also the drama and melancholy of the month of December. They were on the 24th season of The Simpsons, and they performed on Parks and Rec season 6 finale.
That was the.
I don't remember the episode.
Oh
I should
shit!
have
If I'm
looked
not
it up.
mistaken, it was the episode where they did the little Sebastian like festival.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had like the hologram little Sebastian on stage.
Oh, and then so Colin Meloy did a solo album called Colin Meloy Sings Morrissey in 2005, and it was available exclusively on tour, and then the copies were made available to raise funds after their trailer with all of their instruments was stolen.
Ooh.
And Colin has a tattoo dedicated to Morrissey, who is one of his principal influences. It says Moz on his arm. That's all. Those are my little
Fun.
All right.
fun facts.
Cool.
I mean,
About the band.
I enjoy the Smiths. I don't think I'm gonna get Morrissey
No.
tattoo
No.
at all.
Nope.
It's very obvious that I like this album, Paul. Mm-hmm. It's very obvious that Kristen has some affection towards the album because she wanted to be on and was on 2 weeks in a row.
Correct.
I've always enjoyed this album since I can't remember when I heard it. I do remember that when I was driving up here listening to it again, I was thinking one of my favorite songs on this album, one of the songs in my top 3 was the first song by the Decemberists that I heard, and I realized it wasn't. First song that I heard by them was 16 Military Wives, which I can't remember the name of the album that it's on, but it's not this album.
I think it's on the Crane. Is it on the Crane Wife or the King is Dead? I feel like it's on one of those two.
But I've always... I think this was one of those bands where...
Picturesque.
Picturesque, there you go.
Picaresque.
This is one of those bands where I was kind of turned on to them by a girl that I was dating in high school. Mm-hmm. This Postal Service, Bright Eyes. I'm sure there's other ones that I'm forgetting that she, played for me first, but it
Birmingham 6.
Birmingham 6.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Uh-huh.
She introduced her brother's band to you.
Yes.
She's like, hey, you should hear this band that I heard. And I was like, I know that fucking voice.
It's Barry Manilow.
Listening to this album, I don't smoke. Well, I smoke cigarettes, but I don't get high. Mm-hmm. It seems like this album would be good to
Hey,
just
you want
like...
to get high? Get high?
This album seems like it would be good to get high and just sit and relax and listen to. It's very mellow. It's very easy listening, which I think is part of the reason why I enjoy it, because at the time I was also listening to like a lot of screamy shit. Mm-hmm. So I thought this I think that's why the Decemberists kind of stuck with me, is because they were kind of a yin to the yang of the screamy shit that I was listening to at the time in high school.
Okay.
But yeah, I've just always enjoyed this. I agree. I don't think this
I was
is
gonna say,
their best
do
album.
you listen to The Decemberists or
Yeah.
do you listen to this album?
I listened to like
was curious.
3 albums.
Okay.
I listened to this. I listened to Picturesque with 60 Military Wives on it, and I listened to Crane Wife.
Do you have either of those two in your collection?
No, I don't.
That's unfortunate.
If I had Crane Wife
Yeah,
would
that
probably
should have been your
would have replaced Her Majesty.
I'm in full agreement there.
Yeah. This was also one of the albums that I inherited from Zach when he moved back from college. So you can blame him for the fact that I own this album and not Crane Wife. But on the whole, like, even though it's not, like we said, I don't think it's their best album. It's a good album.
It's a good album.
Like I said, it's easy listening. You just sit back, relax, and enjoy the acoustic and the weirdness. It is kind of a strange. The Decemberists are fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking strange.
Super weird.
Yeah.
I have to use a dictionary and like Google things. I'm like, what the fuck is he singing about?
Well, see, that's one of the notes I have
I
here.
kind of like that though. I like learning new things.
Well, like after listening to this album, I feel stupider than I already am because I don't understand a fucking thing he's saying or he's talking about.
What was it? What album was it that Tom recently just said that?
That was Veronica. Yeah, he said about Veronica.
He said he doesn't think he's smart enough to understand the genius of Elvis Costello.
Well, I think that's different. No, that's different. Like there's difference between being smart enough to understand the genius of something, and then being smart enough just to understand what the fuck they're talking about. It's just like what do you what the fuck is this?
It's very pretentious.
Sailors.
It's very douchey.
Yeah, oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Folklore and historical facts.
Okay.
That's what it is. Historical events. So when I told Jeff that I was coming on for this album, well, I said...
have we ever talked about Jeff? We should say Jeff.
Jeff
Who's
is,
Jeff?
Jeff is...
You're not the only listener, Kristen. We have more than you that listens to the podcast.
So according to my insurance, Jeff is my domestic partner.
There you go.
We like, I don't know, when you're 47, is he your boyfriend? Like, I don't know how that works.
Name of Jeff.
Name of Jeff.
How long have you guys been together?
14 years.
How long have those?
That's how long my first marriage lasted.
How long of those 14 years have you lived together?
About 7 or 8 of them.
Okay, so if it was still a thing, I don't think it's still. I think it's still technically not a common law.
Yeah,
marriage.
It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And then what was it? I think it was like 10 years. You guys like.
I thought it was 7 for common.
I thought
law.
it was 6. I thought it was 6 or 7 as well for common law.
So
when that was a
I don't
thing.
know. He's my person.
Yes, there you go.
Person. So he's like, "Oh, you're doing the Decemberists episode. Is it the Crane Wife?" I was like, "No, I wish it were." He's like, "Why isn't it the Crane Wife?"
Like, talk to Adam's brother Zach, who didn't fucking own that one in college.
So then I was like, "Okay, I have to ask you, how many times have we seen the Decemberists?" And he's like, "It's just the one time." But we had backstage, like not backstage, but like
You had like the pre-show.
We
passes.
had a pass where he like did like a pre-show thing and like did Q&A and all that. But then we saw Colin Malloy at the Keswick, and that was awesome because he was basically up there with the guitar, like, "What do you guys want to hear?" And everyone was shouting stuff. It was so fun, and everyone was singing along. And like,
Freebird.
I could see Jeff.
actually, he kept yelling "The Perfect Crime."
Did he play it?
No, because like you need like lots of instruments for that.
Okay.
Like, was it 1? Perfect Crime 1 or 2? I forget. Anyway.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah. So
But
I was like, well, how did I get into the Decemberists? And he's like, I don't know. I think I made you a mix CD.
It's adorable.
Aww.
But he couldn't figure out how he liked the Decemberists. He's like, because none of his friends like them.
I'll say I've met Jeff
can't figure
a
it
handful
out.
of times, and he doesn't look like someone who would listen to the Decemberists.
Jeff listens to a lot of different
Yeah,
stuff.
I
I'm
mean-
I'm
Like,
impressed with his overall.
I look like someone who listens to the Decemberists. I
do.
wear skinny jeans. I
Yeah.
have a 5-panel hat and a long beard.
Yeah, Jeff's was like a punk kid
Yeah.
growing up, but yeah, he likes the Decemberists, and he introduced me to them, and now I love them more than he does because I'm always like, "Let's go see them again." He's like, "I've seen them once; that's enough." But
One and done.
yeah,
That's my motto.
that's kind of his thing with concerts, and I'm like, if I like the band, I'll see them as many times as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I'm similar, but it depends. You know what I mean? I do have my limits as to, am I going to go see this band again, or
Well,
you
it
know what I
depends
mean?
on how much the tickets are
Yeah.
too.
You were talking about like with
Elvis Costello.
Elvis Costello. You were talking about like you wouldn't go see him in one place, but he was playing at Parks, and you
Right,
were totally
right.
going to see him there.
Yeah.
Just because it's a tiny ass room.
Yeah, it depends on the room, depends on the it's and the same thing like and I mentioned this and I thought of it because I actually just saw them on Thursday night. Flog and Molly came to Bethlehem back in February. And first I wasn't going to go because I've seen Flog and Molly a bunch of times, even though like I do like I want to check out the venue in Bethlehem. And then I saw that Skinny Lister was on the bill. And so it's like, oh, okay, I like Flog and Molly enough to want to go see them again. But I like Skinny Lister like even more so to go see them again. So that was the thing that was like, okay, like I think Annie Flag was also on it, which I didn't really know Annie Flag. I don't really care.
We don't talk about Annie Flag.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
They were canceled. Well, I don't know if they were canceled.
They canceled themselves.
Yeah,
actually.
The
They
lead
actually canceled
singer
themselves.
caught some allegations, and the rest of the band was just like, "Well, we're done."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough.
But yeah. So because Skinny Lister was on the bill, I was like, well, okay, no, I want to go then. You know what I mean? So it would depend on what it is. Like I just saw the
Was this at the place where we saw Gaslight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I just saw that what's it called? Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas are going on tour in 2024.
That's a tour that's coming?
That's a tour that's coming.
Fun.
The only band I don't really care about seeing is the Smashing Pumpkins, but I'm like, oh, I think I want to see this now. Like, I've seen Green Day once. I've never seen Rancid. And what I've heard of the Linda Lindas, I don't know that much about them, but like I like what I've heard. So like that's enough. Like if it was just Rancid or if it was just Green Day, I don't know that I would go.
I remember texting you, asking you. Paul was always my like default, where like I'll ask him like musical questions about shit. And I just remember texting one day, I'm like, hey man, weird question. Is Rancid cool? And you're like, what? I'm like, they seem like they're trying too hard, but they seem like they might be genuine. And you're like, yeah, it's kind of both.
A little bit,
like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm
Speaking of Rancid, I just saw what's her name did a weird reunion show. Operation Ivy.
Yeah, they did
a weird like one-off show somewhere.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just them, but like apparently they like it was guys from Operation Ivy, and I think some of the specials got together and did a thing for Terry from the Specials who passed away. So yeah. But yes, so that would be that would be like my like caveat. Like, is it a good venue, or is there someone else on the bill who I'm really interested in seeing, especially if it's a band that I've seen multiple times. So yeah. But so Thursday night I went to Skinny Lister with Katie just because I fucking love Skinny Lister.
Where was that at?
That was at Milk Boy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's another like really small venue and whatnot. And the last time they actually came to Milk Boy, they've been to Philly since then, but like God, that was pretty good. But they came to
Mr. Miyagi.
Milk Boy had actually sold out, and I didn't get to go to that one. So I was like, when I saw they were coming back to Milk Boy, I'm like, oh no, I need to go to that. So we went to that. So I'll just say this real quick. One of the coolest fucking things happened. I have all the the autograph things and whatnot, and their new album came out. Technically came out Friday. We were seeing them Thursday, but they had them for sale on Thursday. Yeah. So Katie said, because it's Thursday night, we have a 10-month-old. We're both pretty tired as is anyway. She's got to work the next day. I got to wake up with Regina. So she said, she's like, listen, we can't hang out afterwards. She's like, so maybe we go to the merch table earlier. You get your, you get whatever you're gonna get, and then and then we call it like
your bullshit.
Call it right. So I was like, no, that's fair enough. So I got there and I bought a copy of the new album, like right when we got there. So I'm like, all right, cool. I got my album, and we'll check out the opening bands, and then wait for them, and but it was cool because as we're on our way out, Lorna, the woman singer in Skinny Lister, is standing in the front talking to people. So we're walking. I was like, well, let me say hi and tell her a great show. And so she gets talking. She turns. I'm like, oh hey, great show, really good job. And she sees I have the LP, and she's like, that's not autographed. I'm like, no, it's not. But and she's like, hold on. And she takes it from me, goes to the merch table, hands me back an autographed copy of the album. Yeah, with the whole band. I was like, fuck. I was like, that's great. That's so and I was already resigned to like, okay, I'm not going to get this one autographed. It is what So now when I get the new frames, I will have 5 Skinny Lister albums. Album covers up on the wall there at the Ottsville Record Garage. I've been autographed by the bands.
Were they selling non-autographed and non-autographed copies? And you specifically asked for the non-autographed?
Apparently, what they did was they had autographed a bunch, but then forgot to send them out to the merch table.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And so and they said that on stage, like, oh yeah, we did autograph them, but we forgot to bring them out. Sorry, like whatever. But no, so I guess they brought them out at some point. And
did that cost extra?
I don't know. I mean, it didn't cost me extra because she literally just swapped the one I had for for one that had everybody's signature on it. So that was pretty cool. And that was cool. It was like good looking out for her. And, So nice. So that was pretty cool. So where were we?
I like this album.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You're saying I like this album.
We like this album.
I know how Paul's going to feel about this album.
It's not my favorite. Well, that being said, we know that is not my favorite.
Yeah.
And it's not yours either. We both would agree that the Grain Wife would have been a better choice.
I'm going to give you
for this evening
a Wave Chaser IPA from Montauk. So I saw this in the store.
Come as you are.
Where's the one I want? Fuck. Oh, there it is. I went to the store earlier, and that's where I got the pumpkin ale. But like I was like looking, and I was like, man, this keeps catching my eye. And it's
beachy.
like, yeah, this one's called the Surf Beer. It's a golden ale. So apparently they're in New York.
Montauk.
I always think of like the Downeaster
What?
Montauk,
Alexa.
isn't it? Montauk.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I think Montauk's like upstate New York.
Yeah,
isn't
it
might
is.
be.
That's why
Okay.
I always think of
Yeah.
the song, the Downeaster Alexa,
And it's
because he talks about.
And if I'm not
Montauk.
mistaken, like Montauk's kind of like hoity-toity.
Is it?
These cans are very reminiscent of like the flags you always see on fucking sailboats.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
like,
that
yeah.
makes
All right.
sense.
Like yachts and shit like that. Okay. But at any rate, I don't know.
Schooner, if you will.
Yes, it was it was a variety pack. So I was just like, man, this thing keeps calling me. And I was looking at a bunch of different stuff, and I just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go back and get it. So I'm trying this brewery and their beers for the first time.
I would say there's at least like 3 or 4 dozen beers that I've tried just because I looked at the can and was like, that's fucking cool
That's a
looking.
cool
Yeah,
can.
yeah, exactly.
I bought beers just because I can't read the label because it's in a different language.
Right.
Like, so I'm just always looking for interesting shit.
I buy wine because it looks pretty. I don't know anything
I
about
saw a
wine.
meme about that the other day. It's like me and my wife don't know anything about wine, but like we just rate it by go by what's on the bottle, and she's like, "Oh, let me get a 2002 scuba diver."
Yeah, I've bought wine like that. Sometimes it really works out. Sometimes
You
it
judge a book
it
by
doesn't.
its cover.
You know.
I can't remember if I ever told you. I bought a bottle of wine one time specifically because I liked the label so much. It was the wine was just called. I don't know if it was the vineyard that makes it or if it was just that specific thing, but it was called Pennywise.
Okay.
And it was just a basic green bottle with a label that was about that big, about the size of like a $50, and it just said Pennywise, and it had a penny on
Nice.
the label, and it was just a very minimalist thing. And I was like, that's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I like Chardonnay, so
There you go. There you go. You like the buttery, or you like the oaky?
I like which one's more dry.
Well, no, they're the different. Anyway, they're the
don't
different. They're the different. You can get different flavor profiles from the same wine. So, like some Chardonnays are more buttery. Some of them are more
I
oaky.
drink Chardonnay because it's dry. That's what I like. I don't know if it's oaky or buttery. It's dry.
You probably like those Nico wafers.
You know-
and like all
Necco
those.
wafers? I love
yeah,
Necco
like
wafers.
those.
We talked about it on the podcast
Yeah.
one time how I like old people candy.
do.
I hope to God that you come on Friday night, tomorrow night, to the Wine and Vinyl, so you can get a little education in some wines.
Well, I won't be able to
wines.
drink any of it because I start my new job tomorrow as of us recording.
It doesn't matter. You're still,
and I'll be.
But you'll be there at the Wine and Vinyl at Wycombe
Yeah.
Vineyards on Friday the
Vinyl.
27th, 5 to 9
Sounds like
p.m.
a German talking.
All right, so I will first talk about where how I actually was introduced to the Decemberists. So
can I guess?
go for it.
The Decemberists seem like a Jamie band.
Okay, so yes and no. So so here's what happened. This is while I was going through my divorce, and I was driving from like Philadelphia to Doylestown every day. This is when I was working for Soundstage Direct, and so whatever album, I don't know what album it was that was out around like 2011, 2010, 2011 was getting like regular radio airplay, right? So they kept coming up, and I kept like hearing them, and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself like, this band's not too bad. Maybe I should check them out. And like I swear to God, like 5 minutes after I said that, I get a text from Jamie, and it says, hey, you should check out the Decemberists. I think you would really like them. And at that point, I was like, fuck the Decemberists.
You're not the boss of
Fuck
me, Jamie.
everything about them. I'm not fucking listening to
What
this
was
band.
the year time frame you
Like
said?
2011-ish.
The King is Dead was 2011.
Which is my second favorite album.
But
I was thinking, I know the Cream
That
Whip
one's
wasn't
a
that
good
late.
one.
yeah, now that being said, since that I have gone back and tried to listen to the Decemberists besides this album.
I've encouraged you to listen
You
to them.
you have, as well as like some other people, and just for the fact that like, okay, no, I was digging what I was hearing. Let me look into it. So there are a few songs that I like. Overall, I do like the Crane Wife, the album. But like this album, I am really glad that I never have to play it again. But I don't hate it. I'm just like, eh. Like just it doesn't do much to me. I think how do you say his last name? Colin Malloy. So I think that Colin Malloy, right, should they should have a Muppet that's a goat, and it's Colin Malloy's voice. Like
That's
I think,
Eddie Vedder.
No, Eddie Vedder sounds like a horse.
No, he's
Colin
a goat.
Malloy would be like a goat.
It's funny. Did I ever tell you when I was in high school, one of the people I hung out with would refer to Bright Eyes as the one that sounds like a goat.
Oh, no, I can see that, too.
Yeah.
I can see that as well. So, okay, one of the things about this album that I don't particularly care for, right? So, like, I'm not a huge jazz fan, right? And this album is completely jazz-based. Everything about it, the drum beats, the chord progressions, the fucking opening song is basically freeform jazz and a mix of like the fucking dude who wrote the theme music to for all the Twin Peaks stuff, whose name I can't think of.
Lynch.
No, that's the
that's
director.
the director.
The musician.
Oh shit!
David Lynch. He's multifaceted.
Yes,
He
well,
is.
he is a musician
No,
as well,
that name popped into
but
my
yeah,
head. Who is that?
Bartolelli or something like that. It begins with an A, but at any rate, the first song harkens to like freeform jazz, and then like harkens. Yes,
you,
yes.
man.
Well, I've been listening to the
He's
fucking
been listening
Decemberists
to
all
the
week.
Decemberists.
You know, like Los Angeles, I'm yours.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you say the sentence? It harkens to that again, but when you say it, take your glasses off first and kind of give it like one of those like real pretentious douchey things.
Man, what was that? What was I talking about?
You said that
It harkens
to freeform jazz.
Oh, the first song harkens to freeform
no,
jazz.
no.
What?
That's like you gotta do it.
I don't know what
You
do you
gotta
want,
go-
like my Superman Clark Kent?
Let me see your glasses. You gotta go. You gotta
They're
go.
really tiny.
You gotta go slow and douchey. To be like, well, it harkens.
Oh, so Los Angeles, I'm yours.
Exactly. A lot of pointing with them too.
Like this is
Yeah.
so Los
Yes.
Angeles, I'm yours. When I was
Don't hit me
listening
in
to
the
that,
face with them.
and if you do actually and like really listen to that song and the cadence of the music, the style of the music,
You're saying Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, I'm yours. The vocal melody line, that's a fucking Frank Sinatra song. You know what I mean? Like that. It's you know, you get that, and then like this, but like it's
So maybe that's why I like this, because I grew up with my dad listening to jazz.
okay.
R.I.P. Tom.
Oh yes, R.I.P. Tom. Thank you. But no, I
So
think
maybe that's why I dig them.
yeah,
There's
like
too many Toms involved with this podcast.
I know,
There's
I know.
Bartender Tom. There's Sorry Tom. There's Kristen's dad.
My dad.
We're not allowed to have any more Toms involved.
Thomas Chester.
Yeah.
That's his middle name.
but yeah, no, it's like folky poppy jazz album, and that's you know like I said, there's some jazz
Paul,
I like,
already
but
said it's pretentious and douchey.
Yeah, we
we've-
know this.
We've established
That last song though kind of reminds me of the Lumineers or something.
what the last song on the album?
Yeah.
No, and I'm not saying it's there are like I'll say this, I don't like the album overall, but like I have 3 songs that I like. I you know I know which one I like the least. Even like there's other songs like what do I have here?
Words,
Yes.
words.
I wish I was meant for, or I was meant for the stage. Beautiful song, absolutely beautiful song until the end, and then like, but it was funny when I was listening to it today as I was like doing yard work because I had like the headphones on. I was listening to it today. I'm like, oh god, I fucking realized what this song is. It's like, and it kind of like leads to like you know, and I know it's in my head, but I think it leads to the douchey pretentiousness of it. This is like this is this guy, this thing talking about being like, I am meant for the stage, I'm here to perform, and then it falls apart at the end and it becomes this mess because actually they're like all the animatronics from Chuck E. Cheese and they stopped using them and they died, so they're all robots, so they weren't actually real people. It's symbolic. The music, symbolism. It's a metaphor. Look it up. But also but then you have something like the Chimbley Sweep. Like, what the fuck? Are we gonna go watch Mary fucking Poppins now? Like, just you know what I mean? It's,
You didn't watch Mary Poppins after listening to the album?
No,
Paul, that was you were supposed to.
fuck. You didn't. That wasn't on the list. But no, and again, I don't.
I ordered a book from what's her face, Maya Goldberg.
There you go.
On Amazon.
I will say though,
Words.
like you know, listening to this though, and at one point, actually,
One about the bees.
we were driving home from Skinny Lister on Thursday night. I put this on, and me and Katie were listening to it. I was like, man, I really wish it was this album. And I switched over to the Crane Wife, and we listened to that the whole way fucking home. And I'm
She
just
told
like,
me she liked that one definitely better.
I forget
like
what
to the point where I'm thinking of actually picking up the Crane Wife for
You
myself.
should.
So
I can't remember what album it was that we covered, but I was driving up here listening to it, and I maybe had like 25 minutes left in my drive, and the album ended. And I started to put on another album by that band, and I thought, no, I don't want to muddy it. Like, I don't want to cross-contaminate or anything like that. So it's interesting that you went like, oh, well, I mean,
I was already familiar with Crane Wife. It's not like, like I said, I've looked into the Decemberists beyond, like when I got over the, like, goddamn, my ex-wife telling me to listen to a band that I wanted to fucking look into anyway. Go, fuck you. But no, it was, I did look into more Decemberist stuff, and just overall, I don't think I'm an overall Decemberist fan. I am definitely a fan of that album, The Crane Wife. There are certain songs on different albums where I'm like, okay, no, this is kind of cool. I like this, you know what I mean? But I don't like the album overall. I know the one song that you told me about a while back.
That I thought you should cover.
Yes, which I did. It's
Rocks in the Box?
Rocks in the Box, which I've played in like solo shows and whatnot.
I've never heard you do that.
Oh,
Damn it.
I've done it. But here's the problem with that, though.
What?
It goes
Nobody
over like
knows
a
it.
fucking rock in a box. Nobody gives a fuck
Nobody
that you're
knows
playing in
that
Decemberists.
song.
Exactly. So it's like
there's some pretentious douchebag at the bar drinking some obscure IPA.
Have you seen the places I've played?
It would be me. I'd be like,
they're like, oh, is there a
Box?
musician?
I remember the one time I saw Paul play at the Eddington House. Ben Salem. And I had work earlier that day, and I had work the day before or something. I can't remember. But I was texting people. I was telling people at work, I'm like, oh, you should come out to this bar. My brother's playing tomorrow. And they were like, oh, yeah, when our shift's done, we'll be over. So I'm sitting in the bar, Paul's playing, and I realized that, like, this is going back a few years. I realized that, like, I'm the youngest person in this bar by, like, at least 25 years.
Yep.
And I'm like, so I'm texting the people that I work with. I'm like, hey, can you guys show up so I'm not the fucking youngest person here, please? And if I remember correctly, that night ended weird because like that was the night like a drunk wedding party came in, and some drunk dude was like, play Tracy Chapman.
Yeah, and I did. I was like, all right, you really want to hear it?
Sure,
I'll play some. Yeah, I've had.
Got you.
I've had definitely weird experiences like that, but no, I like that song. They also have a really good fucking. They do a real solid rendition of the song when the ship comes in, which is, I want to say it's originally a Bob Dylan song, but I don't think it was. But at any rate, if you know what song I'm talking about, like if you hear their version of it, it's a good version. Yeah. It's an overall very good version of it, and I think the songs are well written. Don't get me wrong, I just don't like them. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I think they're bad songs. They're just they're not written for me.
You can appreciate the craftsmanship, but it doesn't speak
exactly. And like some of the stories that they're telling, I get it's folk music. You're telling a story, or and the historical references. They're not anything that I give a fuck about. No. You know what I mean? But that being said, there's plenty of people who don't give a fuck about any of the Irish music I play and what was going on there too. So you know what I mean. So it is what it is.
So I missed. How did Katie feel about this, and how did she feel about the Crane Wife?
Same as I. She didn't like this, and she did like the Crane Wife, and and then told me I can't buy any more records. But that's besides the point.
I'm sorry, you guys. I don't own the Crane Wife.
Well, but no, there's like Veronica was, we did that, and I said right away like that's not my favorite Elvis Costello album. It's the one that's in my collection. Yeah. And we had another one that was.
You keep calling it Veronica. You know that's not the name of it.
Yeah, I know, Spike. I know. Spike. I know. I keep because Veronica's a song.
Veronica's the only song on that album that sticks out.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is actually
else sounds weird.
The last two shows I've played after that episode, I've actually played Veronica.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, one was because Tom came to see me play, and he was sitting there like
bartender Tom or sorry
Tom? Bartender Tom, yeah. And I was like, I was like I gotta play this for the official bartender of the Country Hipster Podcast, and people are like looking up like, what the fuck is this dude talking about?
Counts as Tom coming to see you play if you're playing at Tiernan.
The bar that he worked
No, it wasn't Tiernan. No, he actually it was at Bitch and Kitten. He actually had to come to Bitch and Kitten to see me play.
Well, in all fairness, when you mentioned that you were playing there, he was like, oh, I love their beer. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Nah. So no, it doesn't count if he's basically held hostage. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
he's getting paid to be there.
Yeah. But those are my overall like general feelings. Like I said, I won't be listening to this album again. No. Not on purpose. The Decemberist overall, like I said, I think I like an album. I don't know that I like the Decemberists. There's a few songs here and there that I'm like, all right, these are cool. If they were to do like a tour where they're like, we're gonna play the Crane Wife from end to end, I'd be like, all right, I'll go check that guy
In all
out.
fairness, give it, what's the year is it? 2023. Give it 3 more years.
Yeah, they could do
they
that.
might.
It'll be the
Yeah,
20th
yeah.
anniversary. of
But
the
I'm saying,
album.
like, I would do that. I would be like, all right, no, I'll go check that out to hear that album. You know what I mean? So
Well, they're only going to play their hits. They're not going to play all these weird songs on this album.
they are some weird songs.
And I think that's something that's
They're going to
interesting.
open with the Infanta.
I think that's something interesting about this band because I feel like they might be self-aware of the fact that they're weird as fuck.
Yeah, they know
And,
they are.
Yeah, and like they're not doing it in like a we're different kind of way. They're just weird as fuck, but they're aware of it. And like you said, they're not gonna fucking play the B-sides. They know what people.
They
are
know
coming
what
Well,
people
no,
like.
here's what I'll say though. Here's bands who are like, we're weird as fuck, and we relish in the fact we're weird as fuck. We'll play the fucking B-sides.
I'm not saying they relish in the fact that they're weird.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying they understand that they're weird as fuck.
Okay.
They can't do anything about it. But
They
they
know
understand
they're
that
the
people are
awkward
there.
people at the party.
People are there for the hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Would it change your mind about this album if you knew that there were 5 mentions of underwear and or trousers being pulled down?
I've noticed. I did notice 2 of them where I actually thought like, man, this dude must have a panty fetish.
So in Billy Liar, they talk about the neighbor's knickers down and leaving his pants in disarray and had his ankles laid. And then in Los Angeles, he says, I can see your undies.
Yeah.
Hanging your trousers down at the heel. And then in The Soldiering Life, you're pulled out of your pantaloons.
Right. Yes. No, I did.
That
I did
doesn't
notice.
change your mind, Paul?
No, it doesn't. It
Doesn't
doesn't.
make it sexy.
No, because if he said like, I can see your panties, then I might be like, oh, okay, cool. Now I get it. Like how you do your sex. It was, hey, pull your trousers down.
Can I see your nipples?
Yeah, go for it.
What was the exact quote you just?
Billy Liar, Los Angeles, The Soldiering Life. Which one?
No, wait.
About the pantaloons.
Leave his pants in disarray at his ankles.
Ooh, whoa! Now I want to.
Now you're
Now I'm
right.
like, oh,
That's
this
even
is a
better.
great album.
Fuck yeah! Let's play
Oh,
this
let me
album
listen to this
all
all
day.
night. Yes. Oh, at least for
times.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, I'd
3.5.
3.5.
Three and a
Yeah,
half.
come on now. No, it's just that doesn't change my
No.
my
All right.
opinion.
I
It's
thought it
just,
might.
It's weird. It's
I
funny.
just thought it was a strange.
No, I thought it was a little strange too. Like I said, I knew there were like
That's excessive.
the fact
like
that
he
there's
says
5.
sinews in 2 different songs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how you know it's pretentious.
He just got a thesaurus and he was like sinews. Sinews is or the word of the day calendar, and I feel like he wrote
What was
songs.
the word that in the one song that I was like when I heard it today? I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that means. I don't even remember what word it was. It wasn't even that like hard of a word. So I know it's a word I've heard before, but like now I can't think of it. But I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck this means. It was
an
the
article?
yes. It was the.
It's interesting that to me that you pointed out all of the specific references to underwear. I was noticing something around this time when in high school when I was listening to like the music that I was listening to. I kept noticing a very strange running theme in like emo music, where there was across multiple bands there was multiple references to hands being cold and trying to make your hands warm. There's a Death Cab for Cutie song where he talks about something. The glove compartment's inaccurately named because behind the store there's nothing to keep my fingers warm. There's a
Well, that's because they didn't put their fucking gloves in it. That's not because of glove compartments.
There's
That's
They
not
had
the
those
glove
fingerless
compartments.
go-
they had
emo
the finger.
gloves.
Yeah, they had the finger.
Oh, is that what it was?
There was a Dashboard Confessional song where they were talking about oh shit, what's
Yes.
the lyric?
Your hair being everywhere.
Yeah,
No.
no, there's a thing where it's like I'll be all right when my hands get warm, and I thought there was a weird thing that like multiple bands kind of in the same genre we're talking about. I wonder if there's more pretentious douchebag bands.
It's an
Talking
Illuminati.
about
talking
underwear?
about underwear. Yeah, like,
It's an Illuminati.
So maybe it's like
conspiracy.
a tribute to like that Lawrence Ferlinghetti poem, the Beatnik poet. So
oh yeah, that one exactly.
Yes,
So-
and so
I know what you're talking about. But the viewers might not know
so
what you're talking
now that we
about.
have our
So-
pretentious
now
guest,
listen, in 8th grade.
Can you do me a
in
favor?
eighth
Can you
grade-
put your glasses on and then take them off slowly and
Sure.
say,
That's it.
"Oh, it's like that
That's it.
poem you see."
and then
So-
let us swinging. Come on.
Lawrence Ferlinghetti
Yeah.
wrote a poem called The Underwear Poem. I only know this because my my 8th grade teacher was talking about it, but
What is it called?
It's called Underwear.
Oh, okay.
But she would not let us read it.
I thought you said Underwear Gnome,
and then
like the thing from
poem.
South Park.
So you know what's.
So then I had to look it up years later, and I finally read it, and it's just like, even the Pope wears underwear. Like, it's like a whole. It's not that
You don't know the Pope's
deep.
life.
But maybe he's referencing Lawrence Ferlinghetti.
No, I think he's actually going back to the bare naked ladies who make the best underwear reference in a song. In Pinch
I can
Me,
hide out under there.
I just made you say underwear. So there you go. Like that is the best underwear reference in
pretty good.
music right there. So
I hate both of you.
It's so weird. Why?
Because of these synchronized. All right. If you're gonna make a fucking bare naked ladies reference and you don't reference 1 week or the fucking Christmas song that they do, no one gives a shit about the bare naked ladies. Stop it, the two of you.
Oh, come on, Adam. Do not be upset because I broke into the old apartment. Tore the phone off of the wall.
Is he doing it again?
That's the song that your son brought up last week.
It is actually.
You're not allowed on the podcast anymore.
But I want you back.
Oh no.
That being said, I did know
gets
how to
weird.
play 1 week by Bare Naked Ladies on guitar
Did you?
at one point.
Excellent.
How long did it take you to learn it?
It took me one. Did you ever hear the thing where it's like,
What about if I had $1 million? That's another
That is a
good
great
one.
song. That is a good. Okay, so I will
I
just say
said
Bare
something
Naked
to
Ladies.
somebody the other day about winning the lottery, and I was like, I'd buy you a green dress, and she just looked at me so blankly.
Not a real green
I was
dress.
like,
That's cruel.
That's what I said to her. She just looked at me like I was insane. I was like, never mind.
Bare Naked Ladies are one of those bands that when they were out,
No
I was
one
just like,
understands me.
what the fuck is this shit? And it's one of those bands where like I go back and I'm like, oh, they're actually not that bad. You know what I mean? Like,
It's like now how I lay Hootie and the Blowfish, but back then I was like, who's their demographic? Like, who's their demo audience? And now I'm like,
oh, it's me.
it's me, the
Yeah.
middle-aged lady.
yes, yeah, maybe.
There's a meme that I really like.
My bad.
That said, it's like a dude talking to his therapist, and his therapist like, what brings you in today? It's like, oh, I think I might have an addiction to listening to the Bare Naked Ladies. And the therapist is like, well, how long has it been since you last listened to them? And it just says ... I'm like, fuck, that's good. I'm like, that's a good one. I'll give it to
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. So yeah, but that's my overall feelings.
Paul,
Yeah,
I don't give a shit about your feelings.
I know nobody cares about my
I
feelings.
don't. Kristen doesn't give a shit about your
No,
feelings.
I don't.
The viewers don't give a shit.
I'm
about
aware.
your feelings. There is, when I came in, she looked like she had just been on like a 3-day bender. The way she was passed out.
I will tell you, she kind of has been. On Saturday, she woke up at 5:15, and then
Has been awake ever since.
hard.
and it's like basically she went back to sleep around 8:30. I couldn't get back to sleep, so I was pretty much up from like 5:15 yesterday till about 11 o'clock at night. So I was pretty fucking tired by the end of the night.
Yeah.
And then today was a little better. She did get up. She slept in a little bit, but yeah, no, her schedule's been off this week. So yeah, no, she probably pretty much does look like she has been on a bender. Yeah. Which is probably why she fucking hates this album. Or she's just smart. So here's what happened. So this actually, at first, like I had mentioned on the last episode, or she's going through like some sleep regression, like a couple issues.
Sleep regressions are bullshit. Kids just suck, and they're always going through sleep regression.
Right, exactly. So when it came to like going food shopping on Friday, she went down for a nap. Katie was working. Her schedule wasn't like, she didn't have like crazy meetings. So I'm like, listen, why don't I just leave her and I'll go food shopping? She was like, yeah, do it. It's fine. Yeah. So I didn't get to play it for her on Friday. But when we were going out last night, we went to some friends. We're in the car and I was like, yeah, I got to put this on for her so that we can, I can try to legitimately determine the Regina factor.
For work.
It's for work. Yes. And so the first song's on. It was pretty funny what happened. First song's on, and it gets to that point where you think the song's over, and then all of a sudden it starts up again for another like 2 minutes. So it gets to that point where it's all quiet, and then it starts up again. She's like basically like, if she could speak words, she'd be like, "What the fuck? It's not done."
Like, come on.
Exactly. Like, it's kind of. But then she and then she muttered some stuff like da 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 da. So she's probably like, this fucking stupid.
Fucking stupid dude putting on this fucking stupid album.
And then
Stupid
What
Uncle
is this
Adam.
bullshit?
and then
It's not the crane one.
Billy Liar came on, and like she just started like just yelling at that point. So
like in a good way?
No, we like
She didn't even like Billy
no
Liar.
So I just turned on Hairspray and everything was good with the world at that point.
All
So
right.
yeah, so this is definitely a dislike from
2
Regina.
measures into
Take-
Good Morning Baltimore, and it's all fixed.
It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of funniest fucking thing. So when was it? Was it yesterday morning? I don't know. One of the mornings where she was having like some issues. She woke up. She was really upset. Oh no, it was from a nap. She woke up from a nap yesterday afternoon. But like I think she woke up because she was having a bad dream. Like I don't think she necessarily wanted to wake up, but she was up, and I'm sitting there, I'm holding her, and I can't console her, and she's really like just upset, and like I'm trying to rock her in the chair, and she's like got her head like on my shoulder, and she's like slobbering and all this and crying in my ear. So I put on my phone. I was like, all right, and I put on Hairspray, and like as soon as like she hears like oh, she just jumps up and looks at my phone like what it's on, and she's looking like what is that? That's beautiful. You know, it was like so funny. So I'm like, all right.
Beautiful.
But like the crying stopped, all that kind of stuff. So and that's basically like, you know, Billy Liar came on, and she just like she would lose it until we threw Hairspray on, and
Like,
then
nope, fuck off.
nope.
Not
This
the
is gonna
crane wife.
this is also gonna go on for 5 minutes, and you're gonna think it's done, and they're gonna give you another 3 fucking minutes of some fuck you guys, fuck the Decemberists and this potential bullshit. Is basically what Regina said about it. So that brings. Actually, we are exactly the same now. 8 likes, 3 dislikes, and there are the 6 indifferent records. Nice. So that is the Regina factor on the Decemberist, Her Majesty. And I'm gonna open up another beer before you need one too.
it.
Do you need anything, Kristen?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I've been here since 3 o'clock.
I
I'm
know.
sleepy. If I drink another one,
You can't stay over.
I'll nap. No, I gotta work. I didn't invite myself over.
All right. So, Adam, top 3 songs, buddy. What do you got?
So the song, I'll start with what is my number 1 on the album, which is what I thought was the first song that I heard by the Decemberists, but turns out second song, Red Ankle.
Okay.
And then I'm also gonna go with the Gymnast High Above the Ground, and I know you were talking shit about it, but I'm gonna go with the first song, Shanty of Arthusa.
Oh, well, you know, okay.
And specifically for the reason why you were just talking shit on it, where you think it's gonna fucking end and it keeps going. I like that fucking build. I think it kind of brings you into the album.
Okay.
Okay, so mine are Red Right Ankle, Los Angeles, I'm Yours, and Song for Mila Goldberg.
Okay. Cool. Mine in no particular order are Billy Liar, Los Angeles, I'm Yours. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Los Angeles, I'm Yours.
Thank you.
And,
Very nice.
That was very crooner of you.
well, it's because I told you it's a fucking Frank Sinatra
It
song.
is yeah.
And Song for Maya Goldberg. Those are my top 3. Honorable mention to I was meant for the stage until it falls apart. Rest in peace, Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know.
I think I was meant for the stage would be an honorable mention. Is knocking on the door for me.
That was down on my least favorite.
Wait, did you just? That's your least
No,
favorite?
Did you
that was
jump segments?
I
How many
didn't.
fucking times have you been on this podcast?
4 times, twice in a row. Come on
No,
now.
I said it was down by my least favorites. It's not my least favorite. It was
Okay.
underneath my least favorite.
Okay. All right.
So what is your least favorite? I want to go last for your least favorite because I want to bring
Okay.
up a thing.
Okay. Shanty for the what? How do you say?
Shanty for Arthusa. I say I
It
pronounce
is Arthusa.
Shanty
I
for
looked it
the
up.
word I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
a water nymph
Oh,
in Greek mythology.
Of course it is.
They still call them nymphs?
Yes, you're allowed. Not a nympho.
Oh,
That's different.
Okay.
Mine is the Gymnast High Above the Ground.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, that was a dishonorable mention for me too. Like I didn't particularly care for that song. It was just like, I'm sorry. Just like at first, and I will say this: that it almost ended up a least favorite, but actually grew to. I'm just like, all right, this song's not bad. The one about something about the Bachelor.
The Bachelor and His
Bachelor
Bride.
and the Bride.
Yeah, that one I actually like.
You mean the one about rape and,
Oh, is that what it's
and
about?
infanticide?
Okay, well there you go. See, I didn't even get that. but it's a song that grew on me.
No.
He's like, I will not wait for tonight. I'll box your ears and leave you here stripped bare. Like, he's not waiting for wedding night. Like, we're gonna do it now.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna beat you, and then I'm gonna. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well,
Right? That's how I take it. Am I?
listen,
All right.
I don't know how your wedding
All
night
right.
went, but
No, nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, that's what the lyrics say to me.
yeah, I like I said, it's just one of those
But in
songs
the
that kind of grew
beginning,
on
they
me.
talk about putting their baby in the water. Like, I feel like they drown her.
No, that's baptizing. There's very heavy Catholic undertones.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it could have been. I was just thinking that they killed the baby.
No, again, it didn't even make it on my thing. But it's one that like was at first was a least favorite, but then kind of grew on me. So yeah.
I mean, that is a good song, even though it's probably not.
Well, now I'm
might-
like, God damn,
It
like,
might
I
be
really
about
should
that.
be.
I don't know.
Again, the point was missed on me. I didn't get that because I'm stupid and I can't. I
No,
don't get the
I mean, I
Decemberist.
could be interpreting it all wrong too. Who knows?
So I'm gonna put "As I Rise" as my least favorite.
Is that the last one?
Yes, and I think what I'm going to start doing going forward is I'm going to listen to these albums differently for the podcast, because I fear that what's happening is that I'm listening to these albums so much, and then I'm getting to, because I feel like the last song on a few albums has been my least favorite. So I feel like what's happening is I'm listening to these albums so much, and I'm getting to the last song on them, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. I'm like this needs to be done.
Okay.
Because I've listened to you 30 times this week.
See, okay,
So I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to listen to it once straight through as the artist intended, and then I'm going to start listening to the albums on random
right.
to throw that off.
Okay, I
makes
definitely
sense.
I definitely get what you're saying, right? But like I've had the opposite effect where like the more that I've listened to an album, like there's been albums where like for instance, Vampire Weekend, right? Like first time I listened to it, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know. By the third time, I'm like, that's fucking good.
Then
Like
you
to the
text-
point where
and then you
I
texted
text
me
her,
and you're like, "Do I like
this?
Vampire Weekend?"
Is
I'm
this
like, "Yes,
something I
you
like?"
do.
Yes, but
You're like, you do now, motherfucker.
yeah, I'm like, all right, no, I think I do.
Like,
I'm like,
you,
all
you
right.
definitely do.
Yeah,
Keep
so-
listening.
But no, and I do so, and it's from listening to him so much, and like, you know, this one, you know, it's fun. It's just like I have an opposite effect. Like the more that I listen to it, the more actually in depth I tend to be able to analyze it more. The more I listen to it, and more I guess objectively I can look at it. So
when I started having this feeling, I started thinking to myself, is that why the last songs on a few albums have my least favorite? Because I've been listening to the album so much and I'm just exhausted by the fucking album at this point. It got me thinking, like, should this album even have been in season one?
Right.
Like it made me like it had like an
You
existential.
question your whole existence.
Yeah, I had an existential podcast crisis.
oh no,
Because listening to this album, I was like realizing, like, is the last song on this album really my least favorite song, or is it just my least favorite because at that point I'm just fucking exhausted by the album?
right. I got you. Yeah, no, it's
But I'm gonna stick with it as my last. But going forward, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna listen to it as it was intended, straight through, and then I'm gonna start listening to them on shuffle,
cool.
That makes
just
sense.
to
That
get
makes sense, yeah.
a fresh.
Yep.
Respect.
And I forget what album it was, but there was something that we covered that there was one song where I was like, oh, I really fucking love that song. It's probably going to be on my top 3. And then with listening to the album straight through, I completely fucking missed the song because of whatever was.
Oh, I've had that
probably
happen
because
too.
I was driving and
Right.
paying attention to what I was driving. But
You
yeah,
pay attention when you're driving?
sadly.
Try to.
Sometimes I'm on autopilot.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to try to trick my brain into not liking the last song on the album.
Well, that's good. That's good. There you go. It'll be for better content, everybody.
Exactly.
That's what we're here for. So yeah, okay, so Discogs value. We're up to Discogs value already. All right. So your copy there
Moving forward.
is this one you got from Zach? Okay.
For that,
All right. So this is a 2009 180 gram reissue of the album. There wasn't really much about it. I mean, it's cool pressing. You know what I mean? The artwork is cool. Like I will say that. Like I have noticed that about their albums. They have some pretty cool artwork, in general. Your Very Good Plus MSRP is $36.73, rounding up to
really?
$37. Yeah, the median price on this is like a used copy is like $25, $26. So it's pretty nice.
So I broke 6.
You did. So your running total is $632, which brings you to $83 to the good to my $549.
Fucking steel train.
And
it was funny as I was driving today. At one point, I had the playlist that I always have on, and "Bullet," the first song on the Steel Train self-titled album, came on. And I've had this issue where like this playlist that I listen to all the time. It's literally like 8 days worth of music, and I've realized like I've become very like bored and annoyed with it to the point where
does it play like the same 10 songs?
Yeah, like I'll listen to like 30 seconds of a song and I'll skip it. And Bullet came on today, and I literally like Bullet came on and I skipped it and said fucking Steel Train.
That's great.
And didn't even let it play.
So funny story like with that in mind. So like back when like the iPad, or not the iPad, the iPod was a thing, right?
The iPod Shuffle.
Yes, the iPod Shuffle. This wasn't even a shuffle. This is like the fucking 8 gig one or whatever. I had that, and me and Sean from the Unholy Four, we were driving my former youngest child down to Florida to spend a month with their cousins. And my iPad, and like every song call, I was like, next song, song, next song. And like after about like 10 minutes of me doing this, Sean's like, man, do you like any of the songs? I was like, all right, fair enough.
You have to be in a mood for certain things.
I start to fear that too, because like I worry that like maybe, I'll tell you a story where I think my brain is officially broken.
Okay.
And I preface this story with never work overnights. So Katai, my girlfriend Katai, texted me today and said that her daughter, she thinks might have an ear infection because she had a fever and she went to take her temperature and she was fussing when she was like messing with her ear. So I was like, she had an ear infection not that long ago. And I was like, because I know my kids have done it where like when they were sick before, they kind of claimed to have the symptoms they had the time before. So I was like, maybe she's doing that. And she's like, I don't know, that was like midsummer. And I'm like, no, you were just giving her eardrops. And she's like, yeah, she had swimmer's ear and that's why I was giving her eardrops. And I'm like, yeah, that was like 3 weeks ago. She's like, that was in July. So I feel like my brain is broken of all space and time, and I feel like when I listen to my playlist that I might have ADD or something like that, because I'm constantly and Kitai has pointed out before too, where I rarely let a song fully play.
It depends on the song. I do the same thing.
Like I'll let songs literally get to like 45 seconds left of the song, and
I've done that. I do that.
Well, it's like if I hear the best part,
all the drawn out shit at the end sometimes.
So we prefer Cure intros and not outros. So, unlike you, So
I don't prefer either of them.
Yes, there you
go. Songs
go.
Were way too fucking
Did
long.
you ever bother listening to the other Cure albums I told you to listen to?
No, you know what? I was thinking about this the other day because
just curious.
On the Smiths episode, Frank recommended another because Queen is Dead was like the first Smiths album I listened to. So he recommended another Smiths album, and then you recommended Cure albums. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, shit. I'm like, what were the fucking... And I was like, now I got to go back and fucking
we could go back and listen to the podcast,
I have the Cure albums here.
Oh, thank God.
I believe.
Yeah. Do you have a specific little like notebook for
I do.
the country?
You're on the podcast so much that you're just like, I should just get a notebook.
No, it's from the beginning. She had it from the fucking first thing.
Yeah, they might be giants. The Decemberists.
I will say though, I am a big fan of like it's like a field notes book, and I'm a fan of it.
First grade teacher writing.
Yes.
So yeah, the Cure ones were Head on the Door, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Three Imaginary Boys, Wish, and then Disintegration. Those were my top 5. So those are probably
Head on the Door is worth checking out. Yeah.
Those were probably the albums I recommended.
Let me take a second. I took a picture.
There you go.
I took a mental note. Now I just need to go back and listen to the
I
Smiths album to
don't.
figure
Yeah,
out.
I
what-
don't know what the Smiths ones were, but
feel
I
like
could
this-
recommend like.
I feel like he told me to listen to the one that came out after.
Yeah.
Queen's
Yep.
Death.
Yep. Whatever that
Yeah.
was called. I don't, but I mean, that should be pretty much easy to do the Google
Yeah.
machine on.
Hatful of Hollow is really good too.
So.
I mean, yeah. Anyway,
Okay. So, Adam, what else you got? Anything?
Not really.
No. Okay.
Let me. If you partake in illicit substances, let me know if you enjoy this album.
They're
more
legal
stoned.
now.
Yeah.
Well, depending on where.
depending on where you are.
that's true.
Let me know if you write into Paul at what is it? Info
Info at ottsvillerecordgarage.com.
at otsforrecordgarage.com. Let us know in the comments or of YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. What I don't know. Does TikTok have comments?
I have the country hipster on TikTok. So
Yeah, but I say, does TikTok have comments? I don't know
Yeah,
if TikTok-
people
Yeah,
can
yeah.
comment
I don't fucking know.
on posts that.
I watched TikToks 3 weeks after they were relevant on Instagram Reels.
Okay,
So-
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way
So
to
let
do
us
it.
know if this album is better stoned than
Alright.
it is sober than I think it would be.
Cool. Kristen, anything else?
No further thoughts.
No further thoughts. All right.
My only thoughts is I should buy a copy of The Crane Wife for season 2.
Yes.
Please-
Well, I was
please
thinking.
do.
I was thinking of doing the same thing.
Somebody should.
So, all right. So grab the
And
box of
may
Mike.
I come back for that?
Well,
Well, I mean, in all fairness,
can you make that any louder?
in all fairness, for season 2, we are taking listener requests.
Oh.
That is
Can you hold
true.
this for a minute?
Ah, that thing.
All right. So, Kristen, since you are the only guest, you do get to pick from the box of Mike today.
Let's just go straight Rush.
Yes, Rush. So you seemed upset last week. You
No,
didn't get to pick
I wasn't
it.
thinking.
I don't know. You seemed like, oh,
I wasn't
Oh,
upset.
oh,
Shaq, the first time he's
Yes.
on the episode,
No,
gets the
I
pick?
wasn't thinking about that. I just was like
I
assuming
think,
it would be
I think you're just I think you're just selfish.
yes,
the worst.
Yes. What do we got? Oh, you're pulling it out and all.
Yeah, am I not allowed to?
No. You can. Usually people just hand it off. So.
That's dumb.
Oh, fuck it's
Oh,
yellow.
no, it's me.
What does that say?
Oh,
Interpol.
shit! It's a booze and vinyl!
It is a booze and
Turn on the
vinyl.
bright
That is
lights.
Interpol. Turn on the bright lights.
Fuck, I gotta text a buddy of mine who's supposed to be on that episode.
Yeah, you do. So this is one. Okay, so this is one of yours that
I've seen them.
I've neat. I've
They opened for Morrissey.
okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have definitely heard some Interpol.
Wait, am I thinking the right band?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I've heard some Interpol. I am actually looking forward to this episode. Like when I saw this was in your thing, I was just like, this will be cool. It's be cool to check out because I have liked what I've heard of Interpol. So there you go. It might not be next week's episode. We have some stuff we have to talk about here. So it might be 2 weeks from now. With a random record episode or some other type of we will definitely have an episode next week.
Some bullshit in between.
Yeah, it just is not. I'm gonna say 99% sure it's not going to be this album next week.
I say because as of the time of recording, next Monday is your lovely lady wife's birthday.
It is. Next Monday is my lovely lady.
And now my schedule has changed, so we won't be recording on Mondays.
There you
anymore.
go.
We're recording on Sundays, and
All right.
no
And
one
so-
fucking
and-
hangs out on Mondays.
Right, and then on Sunday, actually because it's my lovely lady's birthday on Monday, we're going out, so we're not going to be recording this week. As you know, me and the late beatnik, the country beatnik.
When you say the late beatnik, it sounds like Adam's dead.
It is. He is
Or pregnant.
pregnant. He could be.
This is why I don't want to sit next to you because I was scared I would be pregnant.
Sometimes
Just from sitting
I'm
here.
his brother, and I'm afraid I'm going to get pregnant
I
sitting
know.
next to him. Wait, where'd the card go?
Play your,
It's inside.
play your cards right.
No, thank you.
No.
No, thank you.
So, yeah, no. So next week's
Wait,
next
I
week's.
wrote. Is it volume? Volume 1?
Yeah, I guess it is one. So you did, next week's episode is not necessarily going to be this, but so it'll probably be 2 weeks from now. We will have an episode next week. But when we get back to this, it'll be Interpol. Turn on the bright lights. It will be a booze and vinyl episode, so chances are that Tom, the official bartender, will be back in the garage. And
Oh, shocker! There's gin involved.
oh, look at that!
So much gin.
So
Will
much
he be
gin.
stealing a bottle from work?
I have gin, so I'm going
Borrowing
to
it.
tell him not to. So, but As what I got. Nothing else,
No,
Kristen?
can't wait for this album.
All right. Thank you for being
Same.
on.
Thank you
Go,
for
guys.
having me.
Go on the Google machine and check out Love and Buns Rabbit Rescue. 2 N's, right?
Love and Buns.
Bunns. So go check them out. Thank you for being on again. I know there's at least one more episode that you I think there's more than one that you were interested in. But I know the one. I think there's a couple people, but we'll see how it goes. I know there's at least one more.
I'll be on the wait
you'll
list.
be on that. Yes, you're
I'll
on the
be
wait
like
list.
third choice.
Yes.
Listen, you have a half trick. You're 2 weeks in a row.
I know.
You
This
can't
is
just you
amazing.
can't get greedy.
No,
and
I
you've been
can't.
and you've been on here 4 times.
this is
That's
fun.
almost as many times as Adam.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this.
not wrong.
It is fun. It is fun. No, we appreciate all our guests, but it is very much a good time when you are on. We have a lot of fun.
Thanks,
so.
man.
All right.
And we gang up on Adam.
Sort
of,
of,
but
there we
not
go.
really. We just finish jokes that Adam doesn't understand.
You guys fucking reference Bare Naked Ladies, and I wish I was on a different podcast. It's fine.
Wow.
I wish this was Summer Movie Club
Listen,
where we don't
listen.
make Bare Naked Ladies references.
I'm sorry, Adam. Like, if it's that bad, why don't you just go lie in bed like Brian Wilson did?
Sure, I could. I saw that movie. John Cusack looks very comfortable.
All right. If we have nothing else, we're good. We are adjourned. It is time to... Move on!